Hey everyone, happy Thursday. It's Joe, and it's time for Puck It with Joe over here on Sports Grid TV. It is a Thursday, November 9th already. We've got 11 games on the board. I hope you guys tailed yesterday. We had an absolutely brilliant day yesterday with those wins. We cashed a lot. We cashed on those player props as well. So if you got that plus money, made some money yesterday, let me know. Make sure you like and retweet this show for me. It helps this show stick around here over on Sports Grid. So big shout out to everyone jumping in as well. James coming in with the Canucks and Senators, Oilers and Sharks. Over first period at plus money. Yeah, I do think we're going to see a lot of goals in the first period between those. And Christopher hitting that 3-game parlay last night, plus 750. I absolutely love it. Congratulations, Christopher. So let's try to make some more money today, you guys. 11 games on the slate. Pick and choose where you want to put your money. I'll let you know which games I'm liking better than others, but we're going to go over every single game. I'm going to give you player props in all of these. If I'm giving you player props, definitely are props, if I can talk, that I am betting. So I'm not giving you player props. I'm not betting here. But the first game, the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Detroit Red Wings. Now, all odds are over at FanDuel. So we have Montreal rolling in here on the road at plus 150. We then have the Red Wings coming in at minus 182. Total of 6.5. Now, this is just to the over at minus 128. I do expect this one to go over that total, but I expect the Red Wings to do the majority of the scoring here. This is where I have faith in this total. So I'm going to look at the Red Wings team total to the over. That's coming at 3.5. And yes, we're laying juice at minus 130. I just don't know if Montreal can do their share of the scoring here on James Reimer, expected in goal for the Detroit Red Wings. He's been strong so far this season. He's got a 1.52 goals against average. I like what we're seeing out of him, a save percentage of 0.944. We know the Red Wings have to get back on track of scoring these goals. They're still averaging 3.69, really strong power play here and a high shooting percentage at 12% shooting. I do think they are the team that we have faith in. I just see this dog. This dog's refusing to walk outside of my studio. It's quite funny right now. So sorry for my distractions there, you guys. The puck line, I think, is an interesting way to look at this. Looking at the Red Wings here on the puck line, laying the 1.5. They've gone 4-3 at home on that puck line. On the season as a whole, 8-5 on that puck line. Now, Montreal has been notoriously strong on the puck line on the road, going 4-1. This is a team that gets down and they come back in games. So not my favorite bet, but my favorite bet is that team total. If we see Montreal go down 2-3 goals, though, live betting the Montreal Canadiens on that puck line plus 2.5 has been a straight money to start this season, because this is a team that never gives up, never says die. They fight to the very end. I do think with them losing these last 4 games, I don't think they have the ability to come into Detroit and get the win here. But a couple of players I'm looking at for those player props, Cole Caulfield here of the Montreal Canadiens. I love what we've seen out of this kid for the anytime goal today, plus 135. Now, he's been held off the scoreboard for the last 5 games. But in those 5 games, he's put up a total of 22 shots on goal. He's never giving up in these games, and I think he's due. I hate to use the word due, but I really do think he is due in this one. Now, the other side of the puck, DeBrincat, absolutely due as well. He's coming in at plus 135 for the anytime goal. He's been held off the scoreboard since October 24th versus Seattle. We know in the game prior to that, he was able to get that hat trick. So I do think DeBrincat is in for a big day. Montreal's defense allowing 34.9 shots on goal per game. This is a team that allows their goaltenders to be peppered. Dylan Larkin, I would look at his shots on goal for this one. You have to take him 4+ shots on goal. It's coming in at plus 106. But we've seen Dylan Larkin go over this number in the last 2 games, and that was versus stronger defenses of the Rangers and the Bruins. So Dylan Larkin you could look at for the goal as well, plus 150. I'm pretty sure Larkin will get the assist tonight, so I'm going to stay off the goal. I'm going to take his shots on goal. If you can get good value on the assist, my book's actually not offering the assist on Dylan Larkin, but I do think it's a good way to go. But I'll take DeBrincat and Cole Caulfield both for those anytime goals, and Dylan Larkin for his shots on goal. So this is going to be a great game out there. James, I'm glad that you cashed on the Kings with me as well. Winnipeg Yeah, I think Winnipeg, taking them -1.5. We're gonna get to that game. I don't know if I have faith in the Winnipeg Jets in that one tonight. So, Thomas, I'm with you. The Red Wings in regulation, definitely a solid way to look in that game. I do think this is a team that desperately needs this win at home. They're gonna be fighting, they're gonna be scrappy out there and be able to get things done. Okay, next game on the board, Minnesota Wild taking on the New York Rangers. Okay, let me just find current odds on this. I don't want to see any movement. Give me 1 second. This one is coming in at -102 for the Wild, -118 for the New York Rangers, total 6.5. The 6.5 is juiced to the under, and rightly so. The Rangers are at home in this one. This Rangers team has been so strong defensively. Now, these teams just played. The Minnesota Wild won in a shootout in a game that they fought to come back. This was last Saturday. Quick revenge here for the New York Rangers. Louis Dominique is in goal here for the Rangers. Now, he's been in the league like 8 years. Over those 8 years, he's gone up and down from the AHL, has a 3.04 goals against average. So he's not the strongest goalie. But the thing I like about the Rangers, one, they're at home. Here, two, you look at this defense, limiting opponents to 27.6 shots on goal per game. In the last game versus the Minnesota Wild, they allowed 40 shots on goal. They need to play a stronger game defensively. And I think they realize that. Their ability to get up in that first period and then letting it all fall apart the last game is something I have to weigh into what I'm liking in this one. I do think the Rangers on their home ice here come out strong straight out of the gate. I'm going to look at them in that first period on the puck line. Marc-Andre Fleury confirmed here for the Minnesota Wild. He's got a 2.69 goals against average, save percentage of 0.899. I expect the Rangers to score quickly on Fleury. Defensively here, the Wild, their power play is basically non-existent. 31st overall, or sorry, 32nd overall in the league, only being able to kill that power play 66.7 of the time. Their power play is all right, but it's the kill that is the problem here. They're allowing 4 goals per game and 32.8 shots on goal. The Rangers so strong defensively and offensively. They've got the second best power play in the league, converting on 34.1%. I'm hoping here we see these teams come out scrappy to start. The Wild get in the penalty box. We see the New York Rangers capitalize, get that early goal. Defense is logged down, and we get the first period puck line here for the New York Rangers. That's coming in, laying the half a goal at +176. I think that's all I can do with this game. I want to take the New York Rangers on the puck line, laying the 1.5 at +198. But this Wild team, they stay in these games. It's just going to depend on how Marc-Andre Fleury does tonight. Now, this is the first night of a back-to-back for the Minnesota Wild. The Sabres on deck tomorrow. But we know this is a team that's going to want to come back versus the Rangers. I think you get the best effort out of them tonight. They've got the Stars back home on Sunday. I lean under in this one. I think this is going to be a defensive battle. So much talent here. We know Adam Fox is still out for the New York Rangers, which takes away from their blue line on defense. But I do think this is going to be one where the Rangers at home, I have the trust in. Now, the Rangers are 4-1 in their last 5 home games. They're 5-1 in their last 6 games, playing on 1 day's rest. They're 5-1 in their last 6 overall and 7-1 in their last 8. So this is a game where the Wild coming in on that 1 day's rest, they start off slow and rusty in those games. So it's got to be the Rangers in the first period. And that's all I'm touching. I think this is going to be a complete battle there. Okay, next game on the board. I want to thank everyone watching on Twitter and IG. If you are looking to rewatch this and you're watching on IG right now, it is saved over on Twitter every day, and I'll put up those timestamps, those bookmarks, so you guys can go back and go over the games that you want to see. We're going to get into the third game here. We've got the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Ottawa Senators. +108 for the Ottawa Senators at home. You guys know we wrote them yesterday, and I had said yesterday, if they win tonight versus the Leafs, I probably fade them tomorrow. Demko is not in goal for the Vancouver Canucks. So I can't fade the Ottawa Senators with what I saw out of this team last night versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think there's been a fire lit under this team and they can get something done. I'm getting them as a home underdog at plus 108. It's minus 130 if you like the Vancouver Canucks, and I can completely understand why you'd love the Vancouver Canucks here. This team has been so incredibly elite, especially offensively. Demko has been standing on his head, but again, it's Casey DeSmith in goal. The 6.5 is juiced to the over at minus 150. They do us dirty like that and juice that over at minus 150. I do think this one goes over this total. I don't want to lay minus 150. The first period over 1.5, again, too highly juiced at minus 164. You guys know one of my favorite bets, both teams to score in the first period, coming in at plus 144. That is where my money will go for a total here. I'm also going to look at the Ottawa Senators. Forsberg expected in goal. He's got a 3.42 goals against average. Now, looking at this team, we know how strong they are offensively, still averaging the third most goals in the league per game at 4, 32.5 shots on goal per game, and a strong power play and a high shooting percentage. This team is eager and hungry to get these wins on the board. Vancouver Canucks, on the other hand, top scoring team at 4.25 goals per game, 29.2 shots on goal, fourth best power play at 32.6%, and top shooting team. So offense is the name of the game in this one tonight. I know the Vancouver Canucks defense is stronger. They're only allowing 2 goals per game and 31.3 shots on goal, but that's with more and less with Demko. Casey DeSmith, a totally different goalie here. And while he has still been strong in some of these games, his save percentage at 0.905, he's got a goals against average of 3.06. I do think the Senators will capitalize on him in net tonight, and they're going to win. Now, Quinn Hughes, taking him for points tonight, assists tonight, or the anytime goal. Quinn Hughes has paid us like plus 500 on some of these games for that anytime goal. He has been absolutely lights out for the Vancouver Canucks. So has Elias Pettersson. He's coming in for the anytime goal up plus 145. Even though I like the Ottawa Senators, I still find value in looking at players for the Vancouver Canucks for those goals, because I do think this is a 4-3 battle to the very end. I don't see one team steamrolling over the other, especially with Ottawa playing last night. But I do expect this one to be a high-scoring battle on each side. Looking at Pettersson here, 6 goals, 15 assists, 31 shots on goal in the first 12 games of the season. And the over is hit in 5 of the last 5 meetings between these two. So this is going to be a great game. I can hardly wait for this one to kick off. Okay, next game. Yeah, and if you can get a 7 in this one, 4-3, worst you're going to get the push. We could see this one empty netters, anything happen. So I don't mind the over 7 at all. I wouldn't bet it to the under. The next game, the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Another high-scoring game expected in this one. That total is 6.5, juiced at minus 124 to the over, value to that over. Now the Chicago Blackhawks rolling in here as a huge underdog at plus 202, minus 250 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I can't get behind Tampa here, even on that puck line. This defense has been allowing too many goals. And we see a Chicago Blackhawks team that is struggling and fighting to get these wins, but led by Connor Bedard out there, and this team fighting in each and every one of these games. So the plus 1.5 on the Chicago Blackhawks, I do like at minus 122. I think the first period over 1.5 at minus 144, another strong way to go. Both teams to score in that first period at plus 160. Connor Bedard for the anytime goal at plus 170. Now, if we're looking at the Tampa Bay Lightning, so much value on the players on the top power play here, because we know the Chicago Blackhawks, well, they have a strong kill. The power play is so elite here for the Tampa Bay Lightning that I do see them scoring on those power plays, even against a strong kill. So I'm going to look at Nicholas Paul here. He's coming in with so much value, plays on that top power play. It's plus 250 for him to be able to get that goal tonight. So I'm loving that. The Lightning are in a 3 and 4 day situation, and they kind of struggle in this situation. This is the first game home off a 4-game road trip for them as well. They went 2-2 on that road trip. They did have an overtime loss in there versus the Leafs. I don't love to back teams off that road trip at this point in the schedule. You also look, the Canes are on deck on Saturday. This could be a look ahead here for the Tampa Bay Lightning, because we know that game versus the Canes is in their head. Could Chicago win? Absolutely. I would do the +1.5 if you like them at all in this one, but it is going to be a good game. You're leaning over the 6.5. I like that as well. 7 is even. Yeah, I don't mind the 7 there if you're taking it in that other game. So big shout out to all of you. Nick Paul at +400. We're not getting him at +400. No, Nick Paul is coming in at +250 to get that anytime goal. I wish he was +400 tonight. Okay, next game. This should be an interesting one. We have the New York Islanders taking on the Boston Bruins. Boston, a short favorite here at home at -142. And yeah, we're laying juice, but it's the Boston Bruins. +118 here for the New York Islanders. Total 5.5, juice to that under at -128. +1.5, you can't do with the Islanders unless you're building a parlay and like putting that juice in a parlay. I wouldn't, but that's -220. Boston Bruins, though. -1.5 on that puck line coming in at +180. I'm flirting with taking the Boston Bruins for a nice big win here. The problem is, though, Sorokin is confirmed in goal here for the New York Islanders. We know how strong Sorokin has been. His goals against average really isn't a true representation of how strong of a goalie he is. It's a 3.12. That save percentage at 0.911. Phenomenal. And then we got Allmark on the other side, 2.30 goals against average and a save percentage of 0.926. I expect this one to be that defensive battle that we expect out of these two teams. It is really interesting to see, though, when these two teams match up. We have seen the trends go to the over. I think this bucks those trends. I can take the first period under 1.5. That's coming in at -128. And because I like this to be a lower scoring one, it's the Bruins in this one. I don't love it in regulation, though. I could see this being 1-1 going to OT. I think Sorokin can stand on his head. So it's either the Bruins win this by 2 or they win it straight up on that money line. So I'm not willing to do the regulation there. I think the best bet is just that first period to the under. The Islanders have struggled versus the Bruins. They've lost the last 4 meetings versus them and have only won 2 of the last 9 in Boston. So if you're an Islanders fan, I think this is going to be a hard matchup here. Bruins and Islanders, no score in the first 10 minutes. Let me know what value you're getting on that, because that's one thing. I don't really play the no score in the first 10 minutes. I normally look at the goals in the first 5, which I do have in one of these games. Kelly coming in with Boston at -140. 3 of the 4 series went over. I know it's really interesting to see those series going to that over. These two teams will play a competitive game to the end. Bruins are home off that road trip. I don't know. I just got a feeling that this is a 2-0 or a 2-1 style game from OT. So this is actually one that I might bet to go to overtime. I think there is so much value in picking and choosing your overtime spots. The next game on the board, we got the Dallas Stars taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Let me just find current odds over at FanDuel. -235 here for the Dallas Stars, +190 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, total 6.5, -118 to the under. If you like Columbus to keep it tight, +1.5 at -126. If you like the Dallas Stars to blow them out of the water, laying that -1.5 is +105. Now, this is the first game of a road trip, 3-game road trip for the Dallas Stars, and I could see them overlooking the Columbus Blue Jackets here. Not because the Columbus Blue Jackets are absolutely terrible, but because of the level of play that they have ahead of them. They got the Jets and the Wild on deck. So going into Winnipeg, it's hard. We know they'll probably face Connor Hellebuck there and then the Wild. So could be a little bit of a look ahead. I think this is a 1-goal game. I do like the puck line +1.5 with the Columbus Blue Jackets with the value we're getting. Again, that value +1.5 is -126. We've actually got more value as the days got on. That was -130. Both of these teams come in rested into this one. I do expect it to be a lower scoring one. Spencer Martin confirmed in net here for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's got a 2.62 goals against average with a save percentage of 0.928. And then Jake Ottinger here for the Dallas Stars. We know how strong Jake Ottinger's been. He's got a 2.11 goals against average and a save percentage of 0.933. Now, defensively, the Stars only allowing an average of 2.55 goals per game, which is 5th best overall in the league. They got the 2nd best kill at 92.5, and they're allowing that 33.5 shots on goal. The Columbus Blue Jackets roll in here, allowing more goals at that 3.25, but I do think Spencer Martin is in for a good night. Looking at what both of these teams have on deck, like I said, the Stars starting a road trip here. The Columbus Blue Jackets, the Red Wings, and the Rangers on deck. They've got a hard weekend here, back to back, Red Wings versus Ranger, and then versus the Rangers on Sunday. So we are going to fade the Columbus Blue Jackets this weekend. We're just not going to fade them today. So I'm grabbing the +1.5, and I lean to this one to stay under that total of 6.5. The Arizona Coyotes take on the St. Louis Blues today. This is another rematch here with the Coyotes getting that last win. Now, the Coyotes are -106 here on the road, -113 for the St. Louis Blues. Total 6.5 at -110 either way. If you like the laying 1.5 here with the St. Louis Blues, the favorite, that's coming in at +202. I can't get there. It's the Arizona Coyotes or nothing in this one. They won the last matchup 6-2, and they put up 42 shots on goal, converted 3 of the 4 power plays. So the St. Louis Blues are not normally a team that take a lot of penalties. They did in that last one. It cost them the game. And I think Arizona, with this young team, you guys know how high I am on them for this season. Rebuild kind of year here. Young, scrappy team who doesn't give up. I think they can get the win. I love what we've seen out of Logan Cooley and Clayton Keller for this team. I'm going to take Clayton Keller for the anytime goal. He had a goal and an assist in the last game versus the St. Louis Blues. That's coming in at +155. Now, Hoffer is confirmed in net for the St. Louis Blues. He's got a 3.00 goals against average. And we know the Blues are strong at limiting those penalties normally. So I'm hoping that Arizona can come in here, cause them to make those mistakes, cause them to go in the box again, because the Arizona Coyotes strong on that power play. 6th best overall in the league, converting on 26.5% of the power plays here. They're off that shootout win versus the Seattle Kraken on Tuesday. They got the 4-3 win. This is game 1 of a 5-game road trip. So they're going to want to start this road trip on the right foot. We see the St. Louis Blues rolling in here off that loss to the Winnipeg Jets. It was a 5-2 loss the other day. They've got the Avs on deck on Saturday. So they've got a really hard opponent next in this one. I don't know. The Coyotes been so strong in St. Louis. They won 5 of the last 7 meetings in St. Louis. I do think they can get it done here. Columbus Blue Jackets won 7 of the last 10 at home. I like it, Kelly, where you're going with that one versus the Dallas Stars. Seattle's offense. Yeah, they are. The St. Louis Blues offense is definitely struggling. They're not able to put up the goals. I'm seeing people with Dallas or Bruins in regulation, no score in the first 10 minutes. I like it. Seth Jones over half a point at +114. I do like Seth Jones too. He's been playing some great hockey. I just don't trust the St. Louis Blues here. It's not Jordan Binnington. If it was Jordan Binnington, I'd give them a little bit more credit going into this game, but how it sits right now, I'm just not buying into it. Okay, next game on the board. Let's get through this, you guys. 11 games. Let's make some freaking money tonight like we did last night. I'm so excited for these games to kick off. We got Thursday night football. So much happening. College basketball. Let me know if you guys have a college basketball pick yet. I haven't put my college basketball plays in. Next game, Winnipeg Jets taking on the Nashville Predators. Winnipeg Jets at -125. I know a lot of you said the Winnipeg Jets laying the 1.5 at +195. It sounds too good to be true that the Winnipeg Jets can win this game by 2 goals. But if you guys are riding with that, I wish you all the best. Nashville Predators +1.5, -235. You can't hit that. +104 for the Nashville Predators here on the road to pull off the upset. That's 6.5 juice to the under at -128. Boussois is confirmed for the Winnipeg Jets, and this is my concern. This is not Connor Hellebuck. They're saving Connor Hellebuck for the next game. Boussois coming in here with a 3.39 goals against average, a save percentage of .873. Saros expected here for the Nashville Predators. I have faith in Saros here and the Nashville Predators, especially against a team with a backup goalie. The Nashville Predators in their last game versus Calgary, they started off so hot and allowed Calgary to come back. So I completely understand why you would want to fade the Nashville Predators in this one. To lose versus Calgary right now is definitely not a good thing, as Calgary is absolutely having their struggles. This is the last game of a road trip here, and they're looking to salvage something. They've gone 1-3 so far on this road trip. This is their last fifth game, and yes, they're going to be wanting to get home. Both these teams have very weak kills and pretty strong power plays here. So whoever plays the cleanest game, I really do think will be able to get the win. But I do like the value we're getting on this Nashville Predators team. They have gone 5-7 on the season, 2-5 on the road. So not the best record for them, but I do like them coming in here being able to get something done. They're strong in their last 7 games, playing on that 1 day's rest, being able to win 5 of those games. And the Winnipeg Jets do start off slow off that 1 day's rest, going 3-7 in their last 10 games, playing on that 1 day's rest. I'm going to look at Philip Forsberg here, and probably my favorite bet of the game, over 3.5 shots on goal. That's coming in at -102 for the Nashville Predators. We know the Winnipeg Jets are allowing only 27.9 shots on goal per game, which is 5th best overall in the league. But Forsberg has been so phenomenal. 46 shots on goal in the last 12 games, averaging that 3.8. He really is the offensive push here for the Nashville Predators. And I expect him, with a backup goalie, Boussois, in here to be able to come out strong, get those shots. Winnipeg is going to do their best to give him the protection, but I do think Forsberg gets past them. He also has the 13th most shots in the whole league. So Forsberg, definitely someone to circle night in and night out, especially against weaker defenses. This is a strong defense here. So we're asking a lot out of him tonight, but I do think he will be able to get it done. And while this team could have tired legs from this road trip, I think it would be a fade spot for them in their next game at home. Coyotes team total, we're going to get there. You know, I like those team totals. Actually, we've already gone past that game. The team total of the Coyotes over 3.5. That's actually one that I forgot to give you guys. That's coming in at +128. I absolutely love that, Kev. Thank you for throwing that one back out there. Okay, let's look at the next game. The Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Kraken. I almost said Seahawks, and then I wanted to say Kraken, and then I had no clue what I was going to say. The Seattle Kraken taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Now, the Kraken on the road here at +164 versus Colorado at -200. We know that what happened in the playoffs last season. This is a hard one to swallow at -200 for Colorado, but they either destroy the Kraken tonight or the Kraken win. I don't see any in between. Like, this goes one way or the other. That total is 6.5 at -114 to the under. I think it actually goes over this total. The over is coming in at -106. I think this is a 3-5 style game because of an empty netter. And who gets that 5 and who gets that 3? I don't know, you guys. This depends on these teams coming out tonight. I do think the Kraken plus the 1.5 at -152, probably the safest bet of this game. I'm looking for the Kraken to do their share of scoring, though. So I think that's the best bet. Just looking at this one to go over that total. These two teams are going to be competitive. I love the value we're getting on the Seattle Kraken here at +164. I would take that before I took the puck line, even though the puck line is probably the safer way to go. The Colorado Avalanche are so phenomenally strong. And, you know, we've got Cale Makar out there. I'd probably look at Cale Makar to register a point. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Strong defensive player. We know the last time these teams just played. Middle of October, 4-1 win for the Colorado Avalanche. So can they do that again? They absolutely could, but I think the Kraken put up their share in this one. I'm going light on this game, you guys. These teams normally trend to the under. We normally see defenses. We've got Grubauer expected here for the Seattle Kraken. It's not my favorite game of the night, so go light on this one. I see you guys coming in with Kraken. Yeah, it's the Kraken, or it's nothing. If I'm going to take a side in this one, the over or +1.5, Kevin. I do agree with you there. Under 9 of the last 10 in Seattle, Colorado, 4-1. It's going to be a battle, that's for sure. Okay. The Pittsburgh Penguins and the LA Kings. Now, we know we made money on the Kings last night. They were playing Vegas. It's a hard fought battle there. I still want to take the Kings tonight, even though we just made money with them. Current odds. Let's find those current odds. Plus 100 here for the Pittsburgh Penguins, minus 120 for the LA Kings, which is interesting. They were minus 132 earlier in the day. So money coming in on Pittsburgh. We got total 6.5 juice to that over at minus 140. Minus 1.5 for the LA Kings coming in at plus 188. I think the Kings can get it done again. Copley expected in goal for them. Hellberg expected for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now the Penguins rolling in here, winning their last 2 games, but over who? Well, over the Sharks, but then over the Ducks. The Ducks are playing phenomenal hockey right now. The Penguins being able to beat them. It was a matter of time for me for when this Ducks team lost. So not giving them too much credit. They've also really struggled in LA. They've struggled versus the LA Kings, 0-4 in the last 4 meetings in LA, 1-4 in the last 5 meetings. Now the Kings are home off a road trip. This affects some teams and it doesn't affect others. It does not affect the LA Kings except for in a positive way. In their last 5 games returning home of a road trip of 7 or more days, they've won every single game as they've returned home. The Kings do not lose returning home from these long road trips. It kind of rejuvenates this team. They're back home in front of their home crowd and want to play strong hockey. They're also strong on those back-to-backs, 4-1 in their last 5 on that back-to-back with the 0 days rest. So I'm not fading the LA Kings here. I think they come in with momentum. I'd look at the Kings on the money line at minus 120. I'd look at the Kings on the puck line in the first period to get up nice, hard, and fast. We know the Penguins are averaging the most shots on goal, but I think Copley can do enough. Copley's had some games where he hasn't looked as good as we saw him last season, but I am counting on him, and if Copley's not able to do it, he will become a fade for me. But the home team has won 8 of the last 9 meetings. These teams trend to the over, 6 of the last 8 meetings going to that over. I do think this one could go to that over. Last 4 games have gone to the under. Kelly, you're absolutely right. But I tell you, I just can't get behind an under here with Hellberg expected and Copley. I think this is one where we see another 5-3 style game. LA Kings probably getting that puck line cover. So that is where I'm rolling with that one. Oh, I love you guys throwing out those college basketball bets. St. Mary's minus 5.5. I'm going to tail. You guys tell me your college basketball bets that you like. I'll look into them and I'll tail the ones if I'm on with it. Iowa State minus the 33. So many points to lay in basketball, but I know Iowa State can put up those points. So next game, we got one left. Okay. You guys know I love to fade Edmonton. Edmonton here taking on the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks who got the win. So that $10 bet that I made the other day on the Sharks actually paid off, you guys. I was not really sweating that one. You know, we had extra money in the betting account, but I was glad to be on the right side of that bet with the Sharks recording their first win of the season. Now they're plus 270 here at home, and we have the Edmonton Oilers at minus 345. Who can get behind the Oilers at this point at that price? I don't know. This is going to be an ugly game, though. Minus 1.5 for the Oilers on the puck line at minus 146. I think if you believe into the narrative that the Oilers are going to steamroll, you look at alternate lines in this one. So let's look at those alternate lines. The over 6.5 coming in at minus 142. Okay, let me see if I can get this over on FanDuel here. They're not offering me anything. I would look at alternate puck lines if you can. If you like Edmonton, they win this one by 3 goals. I would do that instead of laying the juice here. I can't trust the Edmonton Oilers, though. I can trust Leon Draisaitl. I think Leon Draisaitl comes out and gets a goal. That's still at minus 120. I'm going to bank on a goal in the first 5 minutes because I think the Sharks have the opportunity to score as well as the Edmonton Oilers. We know the Oilers have Campbell on waivers. Skinner will get the start tonight. I don't trust either goalie here. Skinner has a 3.99 goals against average. The defense gives them absolutely no support. It's just not all goaltending in Edmonton. Defensive side of the puck, For this team to actually get those wins, they need to see their top forwards like Connor McDavid playing both ways. That does not happen. They're not committed to doing that at this point in the season, and it's costing them these games. So Leon Draisaitl for the anytime goal, -120, 5 goals and 9 assists on the season. His shots on goal versus the Canucks in the last game out, he still had 5. He's been phenomenally strong. I don't trust Connor McDavid. He is probably due for that anytime goal. I could see it coming in versus the Sharks, who rank 32nd overall in the league. We know that's the worst in the league in basically every category, you guys. It's not pretty for the Sharks team. Do they roll in with some momentum? Maybe they do. This is the first night of a back-to-back. Guess who they have on deck tomorrow? Vegas. Vegas going to absolutely steamroll them tomorrow. I don't see a look-ahead situation for the Vegas Golden Knights. Dunclair had a goal, though, and an assist in the last game versus the Flyers. We took Dunclair, and this is the thing that drives me crazy. We took Anthony Dunclair shots on goal. At least I did. If you tailed me, you were on it too. 3+ shots on goal in that game. He had a goal. He had an assist. You would think those shots on goal came in. He had 1 shot on goal, and that goal equaled or that shot equaled the goal. So be careful with these shots on goals for the San Jose Sharks. They're just not getting those shots, only averaging 24.8 shots on goal per game. I'm going to take the over 6.5, -142. My favorite bet in this one is the goal in the first 5 minutes, plus money at +146. And then Leon Draisaitl at -120 for the goal, and then the over 6.5. So you guys, that is what I am liking. Pepperdine +8.5 and USC -23.5. Kev, I like it. Yeah, I don't blame you on passing on the Oilers game. This could be the Sharks' opportunity to win 2 games in a row. That's how bad the Oilers are right now. The Oilers should be able to score. They should be able to get these points or these goals on the board. The problem here is I don't trust the Oilers, just like I don't trust the Sharks. The Oilers in these situations, they play down to their opponents. We've seen it, and we saw it last season, even when they were playing way better hockey. So if you want to take a little bit of a flyer on the Sharks here to get their second win, I wouldn't hate it at all. I wouldn't be shocked. You know, how this one should play out is it should be based on the team Edmonton is a 6-2 win for the Edmonton Oilers. That's how it should play out. Would I be shocked if it was flipped? No, because the defense here of the Oilers sucks. Offensively, this team used to be so solid on the power play. Now they're not. Their kill isn't good. So I wouldn't trust it. Should be a very interesting one. I appreciate you guys so very much. Thanks for throwing in those college basketball plays. I'm going to go break down the college basketball card, look and see which of those games I'm going to tail you guys on. I appreciate each and every one of you so very much. And thank you for working through last week with me. I'm so sorry. That cold I had after I lost my voice from being at the Heritage Classic, man, that was an absolute nightmare. But you guys, you lasted and you stuck around. So thanks for being here. We're going to make some money tonight. Let's go. Let me know below this video what you're going to tail of these bets. Let's cash, you guys. All the best in all your bets. Let's make some freaking money on the ice tonight. Make sure you go give SportsGrid TV a follow on all social media. I have a bet out, one with plus money on tonight's Thursday night football game. That is all over at SportsGrid TV. So don't miss out on that. We got NBA tonight, everything happening. And game time decisions just kicked off 8 minutes ago. So make sure you go over and join the guys over there. Tons of bets for tonight in all of the games. So join them. I will be live on SportsGrid a Saturday night. Should be guesting Friday night as well. So I'll see you. Best of luck to all of you out there. Have a great night. Let's make some freaking money. Bye, guys.